the second-hand emotion. He leaves a whiff, a glance, and a chatty line or two as he passes by, and you start to think of him with increasing fascination. He can be anyone. A colleague, a boss, a fellow worker, a family friend or a neighbor. He can also be your best friend's husband. Yep, it happens all the time, so let's skip the unnecessary ethics and moral stories, and come to the point that we are talking about a married lover here. He is a much married man who has suddenly put your emotions aflutter, despite your skepticisms. You might have debated endlessly with your friends in the past at the immorality of such relationships, throwing careless judgments at such foolish women who fall for a married guy. But the fact is that the world is full of ordinary mortals like you and I, who are fully capable of making foolish mistakes in a hurry, and repent at leisure. What happens when he is another woman's man? He seems more appealing, as he already has a woman who has some hold over him, and it gives you a certain high that he is falling for you. He is attentive, flirty, and very flattering to your sense of being a desirable woman, and he gives you subtle signals. You gravitate towards him, despite yourself. The unavailable man is available to you, but on his terms, at his pace, and at his own convenience. He may say, "I love you" during one of his moments, but what next? How far is he ready to take this love with you? Will it go beyond the silent walls of that remote hotel, flat, or love nest? When he says he loves you, the point is that you have just found a man who is ready to sleep with you any time, but he may not be ready to wake up with you. Nevertheless, you are beyond care as your heart is filled with unbridled love for him, and your desire to give and receive attention is leading you into a state where reality and fantasy are indiscernible. You don't pay heed to warnings of friends and well-wishers. They appear to you as prejudiced or jealous. You send passionate text messages to him while he is at work. He reads them, enjoys them, and never answers them. He plays safe what it means to him, and to you this relationship is a fancy escape that feeds his already engorged ego. He tells you how he feels suffocated and unhappy with his wife, but the fact is that at the end of the day, he might be quite okay with the idea of having the woman back home as his wife, and would not really want to replace her. But while he is having family holidays, social get-togethers, and spending the nights with his wife, you are left alone staring at the silent phone. He loves you, but doesn't want to most of the time. The man is lying. You may never come to know that he lets her take over the reins, the control buttons, and the responsibility of the relationship, and sits back and enjoys the drive, or in other words, cheats at her back. If he did not love it, he would have left her long time ago. He will speak about making compromises, but he is only a smart guy who is having the best of both worlds, his safe sanctuary, and your trap at home. He has a wife. Outside home, he has free sex available to him at his wish and command. He has a passionate lover in you and a sweet romance to color his drab domesticated life, without any demands of commitment. In your overriding wish to be the best in his eyes, you become even more non-demanding, nice, sweet, and a perfect lover in your hurry to add something special in the pitiable life of a man suffering with a tyrannical woman, dancing in the dark. In most cases it stands true that he will never leave his wife. And if there are children, then he is at the safest position of not having to leave her. In a relationship of this kind, your dynamics are in total contrast with each other. You are dancing partners, but you are not in tune with each other's rhythm and steps. It is a definite cha-cha-cha, where each person is moving backwards and forwards without quite meeting the other, leaving lots of unhappiness, hurts, disappointment, and loneliness in between. No future beckons. You had created a secret world, and you reveled in the secrecy and details of this affair, but as time goes by, you wish for security and a sense of belonging. You have opened your feelings and your body to a man, and you crave for an emotional ambience and assurance about the ongoing possibility of this relationship. You do feel the emptiness, the non-existent future, and a sense of ennui starts to build up. The impasse in this book of love. The chapters are unscripted, and like a fiction writer, you must decide the theme, background, characters, and the end you want for this love story. It is not easy, but is also not as difficult as it seems. It only requires you to choose better standards for yourself and develop a great deal of self-love. Only self-love, and refusal to settle for anything less, would save you from deadlock of such a kind.